Coach, open, raise your hand for me. Charlie, Tony, Chase.
How we doing?
Good.
Good. So I guess what we all do is we want to be successful, and I think success probably is defined by, how consistent, you can be in terms of the way you perform, no matter what it is that you're trying to perform. And I think two things probably enhance that. Is first of all, you got to have knowledge, you got to have belief, and sometimes it's difficult to develop that knowledge because you got to go through some hard lessons of learning and growing to develop that. And it's a big part of preparation, which you have to invest a lot of time in. And then the other part of that is relationships and caring enough to communicate because you're confident in what you're doing because you have the knowledge and now you communicate it, and the relationships that you have with the other people on the team, actually help you feel good about communicating. And that helps everyone play smart. That helps everybody play better. And, I guess that's what you continue to strive for players, for your team, for individuals, so that we can get the kind of consistency and performance that will help us be successful. And, that's a challenge every week. It's a challenge every day. And hopefully people are motivated to do that and doing the best they can to make the progress we need to make to try to improve.
Start here with Charlie.
Hey, Coach. After the game, you sounded pretty optimistic about Malachi and where he is. Just how has he progressed this week, and the same for, I guess, C.J. Dupree?
Yeah, he's both guys have practiced, so I think if they continue to progress like they have, they got a good chance to play, but nobody can predict that right now.
Kind of with the fourth quarter program that you guys run in the off season, where do you see the benefits of that now during the year when you guys are trying to string together a full 60 minutes?
Yeah, well, I see the benefit of it when we play well in the second half, like we did at Ole Miss, or play well in the second half, like we did at Texas A&M. I don't see the benefit of it when we lose our sort of intensity in the last game and don't play well in the second half and don't beat the other team in the second half. So, but I think, that may be a little more psychological than it is physical. But I do think that 8 games in a row is a grind, psychologically and physically for everybody. And, this is the hump time of the season. You either got the mental toughness to be able to sustain it and get over the hump, or you don't. And, hopefully we got enough guys on our team that have enough mental toughness that they'll be able to do that for another week. And then, bye week gets everybody a little freshened up.
I've heard you mention in the past, I think most recently about a year ago, that sometimes going up tempo can help an offense find its rhythm. Is that a characteristic that you think this offense has?
Well, I think when you go up tempo, you only get a rhythm if the up tempo is helping you have successful plays. But the successful plays still come from execution. What is your footwork? What is your hand placement? How's the back press to hold? What's the quarterback read? I mean, it's a whole myriad of things. Do we block the right guys on the perimeter? I mean, all these things, make plays successful. So when you have successful plays and you can stack them back to back and you go with tempo, I think that really puts the defense on their heels. But when you go up tempo and the play doesn't work, that doesn't help. So it still all comes back to fundamental execution. When everybody fundamentally executes, then you have a much better chance to have successful plays and have consistency in what you're doing. So if you can go fast and do that, I think, it can put the defense on its heels. But the first thing you got to do is execute.
Got Tony. If not, we'll wrap up. Anybody else to miss? Cody.
We've seen Terrence Ferguson kind of suit up the last couple games, but hasn't got into the game. How's his ankle doing? And
Yeah, he's doing better. He's practicing every week. I think he's getting better every week. I think he's closer to probably 100%, this week than he has been. Those high ankle sprains are not easy to sort of get over. It takes a little while to develop the ability to push off and have explosive power, which is hard to play in the offensive line if you don't have that. He's worked his tail off to get where he is, and he's really worked hard in practice and gone through a lot to get back to where he is, but I think he's getting pretty close to being where we need him to be.
We'll finish up two more, Cody, and then a follow-up with Charlie.
In a previous interview, Terry and Arnold said that of the guys in the DB room, that Caleb Downs is the one who's most like you. I was curious, one, what your thoughts were on that, and two, whether or not you agreed with it.
Well, you can ask Terry on what his opinion is about a lot of things, but I like Terry on. He's got a great personality. I don't evaluate the personalities of the player in the room. I like Caleb Downs. I think he's got a lot of good characteristics as a person. He's got a great competitive attitude about how he goes about things, how he prepares. He's very serious. He pays attention to detail. Really has a lot of pride in performance. I don't know if anybody could say that about me, so I'm not comparing myself to him at all. But I like the intangibles that he plays with and that he has as a person.
Finish up with Charlie.
Sticking with the DBs, with Kool-Aid, how have you seen him kind of grow and mature and become maybe a leader of that DB room?
He's done a good job. I think, he has a lot of confidence in what he's supposed to do, and I think he's starting to see the importance of how influencing other people can actually create value for himself. But that's a little harder to do at corner than it is when you're playing safety or star, because you're in the middle of things and you're making calls, but he's done a good job of that.
All right, Coach, thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.